In the vast, silent canvas of the cosmos, a faint traveler drifted through the endless void between stars. At first glance, it seemed no different from the countless wanderers catalogued by our instruments every year. Just another cold, unfeeling fragment crossing the galactic night. Automated systems, running tirelessly in the background of humanity's watchful gaze, flagged it as an object of interest. The designation came swiftly and without ceremony: 3E Atlas. One name among thousands, one line of data in an ocean of statistics. But sometimes, the universe hides its greatest secrets behind the veil of the ordinary. What began as a routine entry in a star chart soon unraveled into something that defied not only expectation, but reality itself. The closer astronomers looked, the more its strangeness bled through. It moved too fast. It glowed too brightly. And most disturbing of all, it refused to behave like anything we had ever documented before. At first, these details were dismissed as noise in the data, errors to be cleaned up with further observation. But then came the moment that shattered every illusion of normalcy. The James Webb Space Telescope, humanity's most advanced eye on the heavens, trained its instruments on the object. What it revealed wasn't just unsettling, it was impossible. 3E Atlas was not a comet. It wasn't even remotely close. The readings stripped away every natural explanation we tried to give it. And the patterns it displayed suggested something chilling. This object wasn't wandering aimlessly through space. It might have been aimed. And its trajectory, its precision, pointed directly at us. Astronomers first noticed 3E Atlas in early July, just a faint glimmer moving against the backdrop of deep space. It traced a hyperbolic orbit, a trajectory that screamed of interstellar origin. That in itself wasn't shocking. After all, we had already welcomed 2 cosmic visitors before. Oumuamua, in 2017, passed through like a cosmic enigma. Its long, cigar-like shape and unexplainable acceleration sparked debates that have never truly ended. Then came Comet Borisov in 2019, a frozen traveler that carried the chemical fingerprints of another star system. But 3E Atlas was different. It wasn't just slicing through the solar system on a quick flyby. It was descending, sliding unnervingly into alignment with the ecliptic plane, the thin cosmic disk where every planet, moon, and asteroid of our system turns in steady orbit. Interstellar objects aren't supposed to do that. They arrive at random angles, skimming past like stones across a pond. Yet this one wasn't chaotic. It was deliberate. The odds of such a precise approach were mind-numbing. Imagine hurling a dart across a crowded stadium and striking the bullseye of a dartboard spinning in midair. That's how astronomers describe the odds. Such accuracy wasn't just improbable, it was impossible without guidance. Was this luck? Or was it intent? The deeper we looked, the stranger it became. As 3E Atlas drew closer, its trajectory didn't remain fixed. It shifted. Tiny adjustments appeared in its path, accelerations, slowdowns, subtle turns. These weren't the random nudges caused by solar radiation or the weak tug of distant planets. They looked controlled. As though someone, or something, was steering it. Some scientists described the motion as if the object was scanning, as if observing the solar system while choosing its next move. Officially, no one dared call it artificial. But in quiet conference rooms, away from public ears, the whispers began. What if this wasn't a rock? What if it was a probe? What if it was alive? When the James Webb Space Telescope finally locked on, every theory collapsed. A comet, under the sun's heat, should release gases and dust, forming a glowing coma and trailing tail. 3E Atlas did none of this. Instead, its outer layers reflected light in a way no natural rock should. Spectroscopy revealed metallic fragments shimmering with precision, compounds that looked disturbingly similar to alloys crafted in laboratories on Earth. Its thermal signature was stranger still. Natural objects radiate heat unevenly, like embers cooling after a fire. 3E Atlas radiated evenly across its entire surface, as if its temperature was being actively managed. Regulated. Controlled. And then came the geometry. Under near-infrared mapping, its surface betrayed not randomness but order. Smooth planes. Sharp angles. Repeating patterns. The language of engineering, not geology. This wasn't a comet. This was design. Speculation exploded. Was it a fragment of a Dyson-like construct, a probe from a civilization long gone, or something new entirely? Could it be the relic of a star-spanning species whose technology still lingered in the dark, adrift for eons? Or was it operating under principles we had not even begun to imagine? As debates raged, the object provided an answer of its own. At first, the noise was faint, just static in the background. But then observatories across the world confirmed it. A low-frequency pulse, irregular, repeating, coming from the object itself. Stranger still, the signal was location-dependent. In South America, it sounded one way. In Europe, it shifted. In Asia, it changed again. It wasn't broadcasting blindly, it was adapting. Listening. Learning. Some patterns eerily echoed frequencies humanity uses to talk to its own spacecraft. Eye analysis revealed structure, too much structure to be random. The beginnings of language. But before the world could decode its meaning, a veil of silence descended. Government agencies stopped sharing updates. NASA scrubbed orbital data. Requests for information returned nothing but blank pages. Despite the silence, leaks trickled out. The most disturbing revelation: the signal resonated within human brainwave ranges, particularly the alpha and theta frequencies linked to dreams, intuition, and altered states. Researchers working closely with the raw data began reporting vivid, almost hallucinatory visions, dreamscapes of impossible landscapes, structures made of light, and beings formed from shifting geometry. Some swore they saw glimpses of vast cities that floated without gravity, or heard voices that did not use words but ideas, impressions flooding the mind. Were these just side effects of overexposure? Or was the object communicating directly, not through machines, but through minds? One private observatory in New Zealand refused to stay silent. They sent a reply. First primes, then a Fibonacci sequence. Minutes later, the signal inverted. It had answered. Some hailed this as humanity's first handshake with another intelligence. Others saw it as a dire mistake. Hours later, the observatory's servers were seized. Its staff disappeared from public view. Before vanishing, they left behind one haunting message. We weren't supposed to answer. The story might have ended there, buried in secrecy, if not for scholars who began digging through history. Across ancient texts and carvings, from Sumerian tablets to Vedic hymns to the Nazca lines of Peru, one theme repeated. Visitors from the sky, often tied to symbols of three. 3 stars, 3 eyes, 3 judgments. Myths of beings who came not as friends, but as harbingers of cycles, renewal, destruction, rebirth. Egyptian glyphs depicted 3 suns aligned in the sky. Mayan codices told of 3 burning visitors that marked the turning of an age. Even Norse sagas whispered of 3 messengers who arrive at the end of cycles, to weigh, to watch, and to decide. Were these merely stories? Or fragmented memories of previous encounters with whatever 3E Atlas truly is? Leaked analysis suggested something even more disturbing. The signal wasn't just a message. It was a countdown. Not in numbers but in patterns, recursive and decaying, spiraling toward an inevitable conclusion. To the untrained ear, it was noise. But to mathematicians, it resembled entropy winding down, an equation reaching its final state. If true, then 3E Atlas hadn't just arrived, it had begun something. Something irreversible. And then came the discovery that turned unease into dread. Data revealed a second object, fainter but following a mirrored path, approaching silently. 3E Atlas was not alone. The second object appeared to be traveling in perfect synchrony, as if the two were halves of a larger whole, converging on a single destination. Some wondered if they were probes, scouts, or even weapons. Others feared something far stranger. That they were keys, parts of a mechanism that would only activate once united. The question now is not what it is. The question is what happens when both finally arrive.